Welcome to my introduction of The Sims 4. So here we are at the start screen. We get to watch some fun little clips of our dear little Sims doing all the things that they love to do. And if we go ahead and click play, we get our loading screen. You'll see this about 100 times during the game, because everywhere you go, you get to see another loading screen. So this is the basis of the first set of households that you can have. This is your first neighborhood. You've got some expensive houses over here, some other stuff back through here. This was the little starter neighborhood that I was in. And then I moved on to this neighborhood back here. And so you can see down here, these are the Bakers. That is Ben and Logan. And those are the family that I'm currently playing. You also have the option to go to Magnolia Blossom Park, or one of only 4 places in the city that you can go to. So you can go to a library, a gym, a nightclub, or a museum. So that's in the Willow Creek neighborhood. The interesting thing about Sims 4 is you can actually move between neighborhoods where you couldn't do that in The Sims 3. So you have the option of going to Oasis Springs, and it's a whole other city that's around here. You can move your houses between here. You can visit people in both neighborhoods. You can, whenever you travel, you can go to the park that's here. You can also go to this bar, gym, lounge, or museum as well. But as you can see, it's the same 4 options as what you have in the other place. So you don't have spas and those types of things to visit anymore. You simply have those 4 options whenever you go to town. So I will go ahead and zoom in on my family here. So I click on the house and do play. And we get our loading screen again. And of course this takes a while because it's loading up my Sims from the last time that I played them. There we go. And so you'll see the first thing that I get every time that I log in is a minus $53, because every time that you leave the game, if you have a maid that's scheduled to clean your house, it charges you while you were gone. So every time that you log back into the game, you get that nice little $43 or $53 charge, whatever it happens to be. So here's the house. It's paused right now, so my Sims aren't playing and doing anything without me watching them. This is my cute little house. I can knock the walls up over here so you can kind of see what the outside of the house looks like. And we've posted some pictures of this as well. So you can see, you can actually see the whole neighborhood. You can see all the other houses that are in the streets. You can go around the whole outside of the back of the house. Controls are a little funky, but you do have some options to change those back to the way they were in The Sims 3, because they tried to change them and it didn't work out too well. So you can see the outside of the house. Lots of new building options and things that allow you to make the house a whole lot easier. So those are pretty nice. And you can select things like your trash cans and your ponds and all those things. But like I said, you can also see inside of each one of those small little groups of 4 or 5 houses, those are all in your lot, and you can actually go into the houses while you're still within your house. You can see within inside of those. If I drop the walls down, maybe it'll let me see. Maybe it won't let me see unless I'm in play mode. But you can come over, you can see the houses, you can visit those particular houses and see everything that's around the neighborhood. It does give you some interesting options whenever you're exploring. There's some interesting things you can do, and I've read some things online about some secret passages that exist back behind some trees and those types of things that take you to different places. So always some fun investigating that. Inside the house here we have our little foyer, little bathroom right there. I posted some pictures of the kitchens before, so you've seen those. A nice little piano right there, the violin. The entertainment center, fireplace, all that's around there. A little iPad sitting there on the table. And then the rest of the kitchen there. And then if we go upstairs, you can see that, and this is fairly poorly decorated, but if you go upstairs, you can see, basically, you go up the stairs, you got a little bathroom right here, with some decorations and stuff that don't really do anything. Your typical room we've got a game room up here, so you can see what's in there. It's like a little virtual game pad they can play 3D games in. 2 computer desks with some decent chairs. That's a pile of scrap on the floor. I think the computer was just recently repaired. Put a little bar up here, the crafts table, the usual stuff. And then a little bedroom, which is also serving as the exercise room at this point in time, and some unfinished walls there, so we'll fix those in just a minute. So if I go into play mode, you'll see it's actually early in the morning, but Ben apparently feels like he needs to go to sleep even though he's full on energy. So I will wake him up with his actions over here. You'll notice that the bottom bar has changed significantly. You only have a few little options down here, which get you all the same information you had before, but nothing too different. It's just a little bit different setup in terms of how you see it. So you've got your aspirations or your goals that earn you points that you can go spend in the reward store. Your career, so you can see your career goals, how much you're making, when you work, all that sort of stuff. Your skills, so you can see what skill level they are in all their different areas. Relationships, as usual. Inventory for that individual person. A lot of the stuff that's in here end up being upgrade parts because Ben does a lot of home repair. Go figure, right? And then we have, obviously, the Simology tells you a little bit about the person and what their specific items are, and then their typical needs that you're used to seeing with the Sims. All the Sims do have a lot more emotions, and you can see that as evident over here. You can see they get different feelings based off of what's around them. Smaller
Zucchini.
aspiration goals, and then obviously this is their activity from the top down. So one of the interesting things about The Sims 4 is that they've actually included a number of things that allow you to kind of sit with your Sims, and every time that they're interacting, they can do more than one thing at a time. So, for instance, I can have Logan come over here and pick up the iPad. I'll slow this down a little bit. And at the same time, I'm going to have Ben come down and watch the news. So he'll come down and do that, and Logan will be sitting here chatting with somebody online, getting his social points up. He tends to not be very social. And while Ben's watching TV, these two can actually have a conversation, and Logan can also join in watching the current channel. So you'll see that over here you can do up to 3 actions at the same time. So I can be chatting with the person on the iPad and watching the news, and now I'm talking to Ben about the news. So I'm doing 3 different things at the same time, doing a little bit of multitasking, but that's also helping out what the needs are over here. So that's a pretty neat feature. It really helps out whenever you go out to places like bars and whatnot. You can drink, be sitting on a stool, and talk to the bartender to order another drink while you're having a conversation with other people. You can have conversations in groups of 4, 5, 6 people without any difficulty. Sometimes they just kind of start that stuff up themselves. So not too big of a deal. Alright, and then the next thing I'll show you is whenever we go to town what some of those places look like, just real quick. So if I take Ben, and I'm going to use the cell phone down here, and I'm going to say I want to travel, close his other actions. Logan has to go to work shortly, so I'm going to leave that there. Anytime that you go from one house to another house, we get that lovely loaded screen, and then we choose where we're going to want to go. We'll send Ben to the gym for now. As an astronaut, he requires a lot of physical points on his skills, so I've had him working out quite a bit. Another interesting thing is that if you don't work, your characters actually gain body weight. I played for the first few days and looked down and realized that Ben was getting really fat, and but I found out that once you put him on the treadmill, he skinnies back up to where he should be. So after we get through our loading menu here, there we are. And so same as before, you can actually look up and down the street and you can see the other buildings that were part of that. So you can see the little lounge that's there and the museum and whatever else. But we are in the gym now, so you can see all the different people, all the Sims that are here. And he obviously goes over and just starts working out right away. This is another one of those situations where if there was somebody else like on another machine around that he wanted to talk to, he could actually start up a conversation with them. So I can do like a friendly introduction, and he'll do that introduction first to talk to the person, but then if they sat down next to each other, they might continue that conversation while working out. Looks like they've ended up in a Troy and Viviana are now talking to Ben. So we've got two other people that are working out and talking to him at the same time.